You've all experienced it suddenly, that wave of fear hits you. Your heart races, your body tenses, your mind goes blank. It's like a shadow that looms over you, holding you back from everything you want. But here's the truth: fear doesn't have to control you. You have the power to face it, to break through it, and to turn it into something that works for you. First, understand this fear is not your enemy. It's a natural part of being human. Our ancestors had to fear danger in order to survive. Fear was essential to our survival, but today fear doesn't need to control us in the same way. When we feel fear, we don't need to freeze or run away. Fear doesn't mean danger, it just means we're stepping out of our comfort zone. And that's where growth happens. Now let's dive into the technique that will transform your relationship with fear. It all begins with the present moment. When you feel that fear creeping in, don't let your mind race with what ifs or past failures. Instead, bring your focus to right here, right now. What's happening in this moment? What's under your control right now? Fear lives in the future or the past, but when you ground yourself in the present, you'll start to break the cycle of anxiety. Take a deep breath. Focus on your breath. Your breath is a simple but powerful tool to reconnect with the moment and immediately calm the nervous system. Inhale deeply, hold it, and exhale slowly. Notice how your body relaxes, your thoughts slow down. Just doing this for a few moments can bring you back to your power. Next, change your perspective. Instead of seeing fear as something negative, begin to see it as an opportunity to grow. Every time you face fear, you become stronger, more resilient. You build your confidence. Shift your mindset. This isn't something to fear, this is your moment to grow. The power is in your mind, and that power is unlocked when you change your thoughts. Fear often comes from negative beliefs about ourselves or the situation. Reprogram your mind by replacing fear-based thoughts with empowering beliefs. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I grow from this experience? You have the ability to take control of your thoughts and transform them into positive, powerful ones. One of the most powerful techniques to break through fear is a simple breathing exercise. When fear or anxiety strikes, instead of letting your body spiral into stress, use your breath to shift your physiology. Deep, conscious breaths tell your body that you're safe. It sends a signal to your nervous system to relax, to take control, and to stay present. Use this tool in those moments when you need to reset yourself. Now, think about your body. How are you standing or sitting when fear hits? Are you hunched over, tense, closed off? Fear shows up in our posture. But guess what? You have the power to change that. Stand tall, shoulders back, chest open. You may not realize it, but your posture can completely alter your emotional state. When you open up your body, you open up your mind. Your physiology impacts your emotions, and you can change that at any moment. Don't get stuck in the what ifs or fears of the future. Focus on your vision. What do you want for your life? What's the bigger picture? Fear has no place when you're focused on your vision and purpose. When you are driven by a strong, compelling vision of the future, fear loses its grip. And then take action. Action is the antidote to fear. The longer you stay paralyzed, the bigger fear grows. But when you take even the smallest step, you break its hold on you. Action builds momentum, and momentum builds confidence. So don't wait for fear to disappear. Do something, anything, to shift your energy. Remember, fear doesn't have to be the enemy. It can work for you. When you start to use fear as fuel, you realize it's a signal that you're growing. It's a sign that you're stretching, reaching for more, and becoming more than you were. Fear doesn't hold you back, it propels you forward. When fear knocks at your door, don't retreat. Step forward with confidence. Breathe, change your state, shift your perspective, and take action. Fear doesn't own you, it's simply the signal that you're on the path to something greater. Fear has an immense power over our lives, often controlling how we think, act, and feel. At its core, fear is a primal emotion designed to protect us from danger, a survival instinct that ensures we respond quickly in life-threatening situations. It activates the fight or flight response, pushing us to either confront the threat or flee from it. However, in today's world, most of the fear we experience is not from actual physical danger, but from our own thoughts, doubts, and imagined scenarios. This shift has caused fear to lose its original purpose, becoming something that paralyzes us rather than protects us. The power of fear lies in its ability to cloud our judgment and limit our potential. It makes us believe that we're not capable or that failure is inevitable, even when there's no real threat. It whispers to us that we're not enough, that we'll never succeed, or that we're not worthy of happiness or success. Fear keeps us stuck in our comfort zones, avoiding risks and opportunities that could help us grow. It tells us to play it safe, to stay in the known, even when the unknown might lead us to something far greater. But recognizing fear's power means also recognizing that it doesn't have to control us. Fear can be understood, challenged, and overcome. It's not about eliminating fear entirely, but about understanding how it works and using it to propel ourselves forward, rather than allowing it to keep us in a state of paralysis. Fear is an inherent part of being human. It's an emotion deeply rooted in our biology, designed to keep us safe and alert to potential dangers. Throughout history, fear has been a survival mechanism that allowed us to respond quickly to threats, whether it was a wild animal or an imminent natural disaster. It triggers a rush of adrenaline, sharpening our focus and preparing our bodies for action. This instinct was essential for survival in our early days, and it continues to serve us today in situations where we face real physical dangers. However, in modern life, fear doesn't always relate to immediate physical threats. Instead, we experience fear in situations that feel uncertain or risky, like public speaking, starting a new job, or confronting a personal challenge. The feeling of fear arises even when there's no immediate danger, often triggered by our thoughts or worries about the future. Despite this shift in context, the emotion itself remains natural. It's part of our emotional landscape and in many ways essential to our experience as human beings. Acknowledging that fear is natural helps us stop fighting against it. When we try to suppress or ignore our fear, we give it more power. Instead, recognizing that it's a common, instinctual response allows us to approach it with more acceptance and understanding. Fear isn't something to be ashamed of or to avoid. It's simply a signal that we're pushing beyond our comfort zone, that we're stepping into growth. Fear, when acknowledged, becomes a guide rather than a barrier. The power of the present moment lies in its ability to ground us and provide clarity, especially when fear or anxiety begins to take control. Fear often stems from thoughts about the future, what could go wrong, the what-ifs that create a cycle of worry. These thoughts can feel overwhelming, making the future appear unpredictable and daunting. At the same time, fear can also arise from past experiences, regrets, or past failures that shape how we view current situations. Both of these perspectives keep us trapped outside of the present, causing us to miss the power and peace that the moment offers. When we focus on the present moment, we shift our attention away from these fears and bring ourselves back to what's real and tangible. We can notice the sounds, sights, and sensations around us, reminding ourselves that in this exact moment we are safe. The present moment is the only place where we have control over our thoughts, our reactions, and the actions we take. By tuning into the here and now, we stop letting fear dictate our emotional state. Instead of getting lost in imagined futures or past mistakes, we anchor ourselves in what is happening now, allowing us to act from a place of strength and clarity. By practicing mindfulness and being present, we can diminish the power fear holds over us. We become more attuned to our internal state and can make conscious choices rather than reacting impulsively to anxiety or uncertainty. The present moment, when embraced, offers a sense of calm and resilience. Shifting your perspective is one of the most powerful tools to overcome fear. Often fear arises because we interpret a situation through a negative lens, seeing it as a threat rather than an opportunity. Our minds tend to focus on worst-case scenarios, making the unknown feel more dangerous than it actually is. This distorted perception feeds anxiety and reinforces feelings of helplessness. However, when we consciously choose to shift our perspective, we can transform the way we experience fear and its impact on our lives. Instead of viewing fear as a barrier, begin to see it as a signal for growth. Fear often indicates that we are stepping outside our comfort zone, which is exactly where change and personal development happen. The more we challenge ourselves, the more we grow. By recognizing fear as a natural part of this process, we can stop seeing it as something to avoid and instead welcome it as a sign that we are on the path to something greater. Shifting perspective also involves reinterpreting what we are afraid of. Rather than focusing on the possibility of failure, focus on the possibility of success, learning, and progress. Every challenge holds lessons, and even if things don't go as planned, there's always value in the experience. By reframing fear from something that limits us to something that expands our potential, we empower ourselves to take action. This shift doesn't mean eliminating fear, but using it as fuel to move forward with courage and determination. Reprogramming your mind is essential for overcoming fear and anxiety. Our thoughts shape our reality, and often fear arises from the negative beliefs and self-doubts we hold deep within. These thoughts may have been formed over time due to past experiences, societal pressures, or even childhood conditioning. If left unchecked, they can take control of our lives, convincing us that we aren't capable, that we will fail, or that we're not worthy of success or happiness. The key to transforming fear is to challenge and change these limiting beliefs. Reprogramming your mind starts with awareness. You must first recognize the negative thoughts and patterns that fuel your fear. Whether it's the "I'm not good enough" or "this won't work" mentality, acknowledging these thoughts is the first step in dismantling their power. Once you identify them, you can begin to replace them with more empowering, positive beliefs. The next step is to affirm these new beliefs consistently. Positive affirmations, when repeated daily, can rewire your brain. Instead of thinking "I can't do this," replace it with "I am capable of handling this." Over time, your mind will start to accept these new thoughts as truth. Visualization is another powerful tool. See yourself succeeding, overcoming challenges, and pushing through fear. This creates a mental image of success, helping to shift your mindset. Reprogramming your mind requires patience and consistency. As you practice these techniques, you begin to rewire your brain to focus on possibilities rather than limitations, making fear less of a hindrance and more of a catalyst for growth. A simple but highly effective breathing technique can be the key to managing and overcoming fear in the moment. When we experience fear, our bodies go into a state of heightened alertness, our heart rate increases, our breath becomes shallow, and our muscles tense. This physical response can make us feel more anxious and trapped in the grip of fear. However, consciously controlling our breath can help reset the body's nervous system and restore a sense of calm and control. One of the most effective techniques is deep diaphragmatic breathing, also known as belly breathing. To practice this, sit or stand up straight, ensuring your body is relaxed. Inhale slowly through your nose, allowing your abdomen to expand as your diaphragm fills with air. Take a deep breath, focusing on filling your lungs completely. Then exhale slowly and fully through your mouth, releasing all the tension in your body. The key is to breathe deeply and slowly, making each breath longer and more controlled than your natural breath. This technique triggers the parasympathetic nervous system, which is responsible for calming the body and reducing the fight or flight response that fear activates. By slowing your breath and focusing on each inhale and exhale, you send a message to your brain that you are safe, counteracting the anxious thoughts associated with fear. In moments of panic or anxiety, just a few rounds of deep breathing can bring you back to the present moment and help shift your emotional state from fear to clarity and calm. Creating a shift in physiology is one of the quickest and most effective ways to overcome fear. Our body and mind are deeply connected, and our physical state has a profound impact on how we feel and think. When we experience fear, our body naturally tenses up, our shoulders hunch, our muscles tighten, and our breathing becomes shallow. This physical reaction reinforces the feelings of anxiety and stress, making it harder to break free from fear. However, by consciously changing our physical state, we can influence our emotional state and shift out of fear. One of the simplest ways to shift your physiology is by changing your posture. Stand tall with your chest open, shoulders back, and your head held high. This posture instantly sends a signal to your brain that you are confident and in control. When you adopt a more powerful and open stance, you're telling your body that there is no threat, and fear begins to lose its grip on you. Another effective strategy is movement. Physical activity, even just a few minutes of walking or stretching, can help release built-up tension and shift your energy. Movement increases blood flow, releases endorphins, and activates the body's relaxation response, all of which can counteract the effects of fear and anxiety. If you're feeling overwhelmed, try standing up, stretching, or even jumping up and down to shake off the tension. By consciously adjusting your physiology, whether through posture or movement, you can quickly break the cycle of fear and shift yourself back into a state of empowerment. Focusing on your vision is a powerful way to overcome fear, as it shifts your attention from what you fear to what you want to create in your life. Fear often stems from uncertainty about the future or the belief that we won't succeed, but when we anchor ourselves in a clear and compelling vision, fear loses its ability to control us. Your vision represents your deepest desires, your purpose, and the life you are striving to create. It's a reminder of the bigger picture, one that motivates you to keep moving forward despite obstacles or fear. When fear arises, it's easy to become consumed by the moment, overwhelmed by the challenges you face. But if you focus on your vision, whether it's a personal goal, a career milestone, or a dream you've always had, you begin to shift your mindset. You stop seeing fear as a threat and instead view it as a signal that you are moving closer to your goals. Focusing on your vision connects you to the why behind your actions, giving you the strength to push through fear. The clearer and more vivid your vision is, the easier it becomes to take action, even in the face of fear. Visualizing success, seeing yourself already achieving your goals, can help you maintain focus and drive, making fear seem less significant in comparison. By regularly reminding yourself of your vision, you create a sense of purpose that helps override the temporary emotions of fear, keeping you on track toward your goals. Action is one of the most powerful antidotes to fear. When we feel fear, it often stems from uncertainty, worry, or the feeling that we are not in control. In these moments, fear can paralyze us, causing us to hesitate or avoid taking any steps forward. But in reality, the best way to dissolve fear is by taking action, even if it's a small step. Action breaks the cycle of anxiety and shifts our energy from fear to momentum. When we act, we move away from the mental loop of what ifs and into the physical realm of doing. This shift from thought to action immediately disrupts the grip fear has on our minds. Even the smallest action can build confidence, and with each step forward, fear loses its power. It's not about taking huge, daring leaps sometimes, it's simply about moving in the direction of your goals, no matter how small the steps may seem. Taking action also helps to focus your attention on what is within your control. Rather than worrying about the unknown or imagining worst-case scenarios, action allows you to engage with the present moment. It's about proving to yourself that you are capable, that you can handle challenges, and that fear doesn't have to dictate your choices. As you continue to take action, you build momentum, which in turn creates positive outcomes, reinforcing your belief in yourself and diminishing the hold of fear. Action is a powerful tool that shifts the energy from hesitation to empowerment. Making fear work for you is about shifting your perspective and using the energy fear creates as a force for growth and achievement. Fear often arises when we step into the unknown or challenge ourselves in new ways, but instead of seeing it as an obstacle, we can choose to see it as a sign that we are on the verge of something great. Fear signals that we are pushing beyond our comfort zones, and that's where real personal development happens. Instead of retreating or avoiding fear, you can harness it to propel you forward. One way to make fear work for you is by recognizing it as a motivator. When fear arises, it can fuel a sense of urgency and focus, pushing you to take action when otherwise you might hesitate. For example, before giving a public speech or starting a new project, that nervous energy can be channeled into preparation, focus, and clarity. The body's natural response to fear, heightened alertness, and energy can be harnessed to increase performance and productivity. Rather than seeing fear as something to fight, embrace it as a natural part of the process and use it to sharpen your mind and body. Furthermore, by reframing fear as a tool for growth, you realize it's an essential part of success. Each time you confront fear, you expand your capacity to handle challenges, building confidence and resilience. Over time, fear becomes less about the possibility of failure and more about the opportunity to grow, learn, and reach new heights. Fear, when embraced and used constructively, becomes a powerful ally in your personal and professional journey. In the end, fear is not something to be feared. It's a powerful force that can either hold you back or propel you forward. The choice is yours. By recognizing its power, shifting your perspective, taking action, and using fear as fuel for growth, you can transform it from an obstacle into an opportunity. Every time you face fear, you become stronger, more resilient, and more capable of achieving the life you desire. So take control of your thoughts, embrace your vision, and step boldly into the unknown. Fear will no longer be the barrier, it will be the catalyst that drives you to greatness.